Okay, so Ruby's here, and who else is here? Oh, nobody else?
Siri Simmons here.
Oh, hi, dear.
Hi.
Glad to have you. Are you feeling better?
Yes, thank you.
Good. Okay, and who else is here?
Saranam. Julie.
Okay, I got Saranam, and who else?
Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
And hi, Saranam.
Hi.
And who else is here?
Khad.
Oh, hi, Keha. How are you?
Good.
Good. And who else is here? It's a beautiful breezy day here in Espanola. Today is a tantric day at solstice. It's a middle tantric day. And so who else is here? Oh, okay. We have multitudes of angels here. Okay. So let's get started. So sit straight, please. Long, deep breath. And keep up. Good. Okay, now relax in your third eye. Relax in your third eye. And he says, open your heart as well. Open your heart. Okay, so relaxing in your third eye, understand that we are going to connect with the infinite, your infinite, and also the golden chain of teachers. And Baba Siri Chand is one of those in the golden chain of teachers. And inhale. Long deep breath. That's it. Keep up, please. And now begin heart breath. That is continuing long, deep breath. Be sure it's coming from your belly and out your nose. That you don't hold your breath at all. It's a constant cycle. But it's very long and very deep. And on the exhale, feel as though the breath is coming out of your heart center. Good. And now please send this beautiful heart breath to each other and receive it from each other. Good. And now this is gathered together, a powerful ball of energy, you might say. Please send it to your own intention. Remember, the intention is a request. It is telling the world focus, in other words, Adi Shakti, what you would like to have happen, but it is not demanding. Just let it happen. Let go. Good. Continuing to open. And now please send this beautiful heart breath to the leaders of this country and whatever country you would like to send it to. Good. And now, please send your precious heart breath to the Middle East. They really, really need it now. Let it grow. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. Good. Okay, so he says, welcome, folks. Those are the exact words. Okay. So, sir, what do you have to tell us today? He says, the question is, what do you have to tell me? I'm saying, what do you mean, sir? He says, each one of you has their particular haunts, he calls it, their particular places in your mind where you go all the time, the places where you need help, the places where you need recommendations, where you need to focus, where you need help, where you need opening. He says, now, my precious ones, he says, today is about you asking me. Instead of me telling you in a broad sense, you ask me, and we're going to create this personal relationship so that you understand that you are not lost. You are not bound to some sectarian way. He says, but it is an interrelationship. He says, do you understand that? It is an interrelationship. He says, no need to fall down on your knees. He says, that's pretty old style. He says, but the bhakti of it, that is the devotion of it, is that you remember to call on me, that you remember to share love. He says, share love with anybody, anything, including me. So he says, please keep up your precious heart breath. He says, do start by listening to me. He says, my name is Baba Siri Chand. He says, I have many other names from many other races. He says, I am not bound down to only yoga and Sikhism. He says, in China I have different names. In the Yukon I have different names. South America I have different names. He says, I'm pretty much universal. He says, so, my sweet ones, he says, this is your time to recognize that you have personal access to me. He says, do you understand that? You have personal access to me. He says, you can think of that in terms of power. You can think of it in terms of love. You can think of it in terms of enriched experience here on earth. He says there are so many ways that you can open up to this. He says, how about reliability? How about opening the path? How about figuring out how to go to the next level, which may seem unbelievably tough? He says, please keep up the heart breath. He says, Guru Ramdas is also here. He's holding your hand. He says, we are buddies. He says there are people who profess that we are not. He says, but they only do that for their own social play. He says, it's not the truth. He says, the truth is that we work together. We are partners. Keep up your heart breath, please. He says, please, he's using the word see me, but it's in quotes. See is in quotes. He says, I'm short. He says, you would not believe that I am short. He says, I'm about 5'3". He says, as Yogi Bhajan said, I never looked more than 12 years old because my father. And I colluded to create a timeless body because I had so much work to do in this body. Keep up the breath. He says, I'm describing me so that you will understand, so that you will have a visual. He says, yes, I do look blue to people. He says, but it is a tinge of blue. He says, don't forget I have darker Indian skin, but it has a tinge of blue. I'm not this beautiful blue that you see me painted as, but it's pretty. He says, you can relate to it. He says, I have large piercing eyes. He says, in my eyes you can see my wisdom. In my eyes you can see the wisdom that comes through me. He says, I am not bragging, I'm just telling you the truth. He says, you should tell the truth about yourself. He says, yes, you should. He says, being humble has to do with being humble to the soul that flows within you. And that's it. Truth is truth. So keep up your heart breath. He says, see me. He says, I like to dance. He says, I do happy dances, which doesn't look like your dances. It looks more like a 3-year-old, a happy 3-year-old, jumping up and down and shaking in all directions. He says, I do sit in meditation, long periods of sitting in meditation. I do walk, I do talk, and I reach the hearts of all who would come to me. Keep up the breath. He says, are you ready to come to me? He says, I'm not asking you to come to me as the God. He says, no. He says, I am the pass-through to the infinite. Do you understand? We are all of the God. But pure recognition, what does he call it? He calls it pure, he won't give me any other words, but I am pure molestation of the truth. Sir, what do you mean by that? He says that I change, I grow, what do you call it? I shape change. He says I do all of that. He says I do all of that in order to profess the profound truth. When I say molestation of the truth, what I'm talking about is the truth that you believe, that you see right there in front of you. He says that reality is fun. It is nice. He says you see beautiful trees, you hear other people's opinion. He says, but it is not the overall, the pure truth that lies behind all. He says, I am the truth with capital letters because it comes through me, it comes through Guru Ram Das and many others of us. He says, we are your guides. We are guides to your infinite truth, the pure yoga. We are here for you, to help you, to let you know who you are as a true being, as a static being, as a flowing being. We help you see the difference. So when you find yourself stuck or stymied, he says, stop. He says, stop trying to pound on the stuckness. He says, all you do is stop. And then you let it all go. He says, because you know that you have no power to deal with the stuckness. It is something that has been built up in your karmas over time. He says, when you let it go, then you give permission. You give permission for us to take charge and let it flow. But if you stay in your stuckness, he says, why, Guru? You go nowhere. If you hold to your own plans, if you hold to your own tears, he says, bless you. He says, but you are making your own roadblock. Do you understand that? You are making your own roadblock. He says, I just want to let you know it because many times people stay in their own roadblock, in their own jail. He says, in their own cabbage patch, which means that place of your own projections. He says many times people stay in that and then blame me, blame God, blame every human being that their life is not moving forward. They stay in that fear. They hold on to that fear. That fear becomes precious to them even though they fight it and suffer from it. He says, do you recognize that in yourself? He says, holding on to these roadblocks can be so simple. So simple that they move, that your gaze cannot grasp them. He says, for instance, your roadblock may be over responsibility. In other words, I need to be responsible to allow this to happen, to make this thing happen. He says, but when you don't entirely give it up, when you don't entirely give it up to what we'll call the gods, to me, to the infinite, to Adi Shakti, to your soul, to your blessed and divine soul. When you don't give it up, what you're doing is you are tying your problem down deeper and deeper. Do you see, you know about those Lilliputians tying down Mr. Gulliver? He says, that is your own emotions. He says, sometimes it gets really confused with your dedication to keep up. Do you understand? He says, but in your keep up is to let go. Isn't that the funniest thing in the world? Your keep up is to your sadhana, to your lifestyle, to your openness. To your openness. It doesn't mean open to every wild and woolly idea and sensation that comes your way. Oh, heck no, he says. He says keeping yourself open is keeping yourself open to the flow of creativity. And as you know, creativity will take you to places that you have never visited before. You have never known before. You have never seen before. Creativity is what has not been known or seen before. Breathe, please. So, you may have a general intention, as we did at the beginning of this call. He says, but if you do not let it go, if you demand that it come about in just the way you want it to, in just the way you see it, then you've lost the message and you have lost the intention. Do you understand that? We are always rearranging the ethers. That is the support for what happens, for what actually materializes in your earth plane. He says it's in constant flux, constant repatterning. And if you put the kibosh on the repatterning, he says you will lose it. He says it's putting the mighty man, you might say, the action hero, in a cage and not letting him do his work. He says, so if you want true flow in your life, if you want true creativity, if you want true openness, he says, do it now and let go. Is it over responsibility? Is it getting crashed by lack of money? Is it getting deeply hurt in your relationships to the point that you can't move? Is it getting lost in the opinions of others? Is it hurting yourself by other means that you think perhaps are good, that you must remain aware of, perhaps in order to protect you in the future? He says true protection comes from our level. He says, yes, there are times when you need to take up arms and need to fight back. There are times when you need to let your voice be heard, whether in a soft way or in a martial way, in order to create boundaries. He says, but let your soul tell you when and how to do that. Do not let it come up from your old patterning. Do not let it come up from your old emotions. Remember, your old patterning and your old emotions will keep you in that old space. Is that what you want? He says, just think about it now. Just feel it out. Do you want to stay in the old space? He says, if you do, if that offers you the pure, he calls it the embarrassment of security. Sir, what do you mean by that? He says, it is, if you want to continue the pure illusion of security by remaining in, desperately holding on to old patterns, for the sake of your imagined security, he says, you're free to do that. Nobody's going to hurt you for that. The old patterning systems may continue to hurt, and you may blame us for not changing them. But, my dears, understand how things work. You must unlock. With your free will, you must unlock the old patterning, give it to us, and let us, Soul, Adi Shakti, Yogi Bhajan, Guru Ram Dass, and more, you must give it up to us and let us take it over. Now, we may hand back things that seem like crises to you, but those are given to you so that you may remain in neutral continually as a circular pipeline, giving them back to us until they have no more hold over you. They have no more call over you. Do you understand? These are patterns that through the karmic process, he says, which is absolutely intrinsic to living on earth. He says, if you don't give those karmic patterns over to us, you continue to live them until you finally give them over. So the question is, are you doing it now? Or are you doing it later? Are you really enjoying those old patterns, those old hurts, those old clinging to ideas of security that will not support you? What are you going to do with that? Or when? It's really up to you. If you want to be on the boat of progress, you will let us captain the vessel. Do you understand? You will let us captain the vessel, and then you will be the pilot through the tough waters by listening to the captain. The captain will give the pilot the instructions, the wherewithals. But it means that you must listen to us. You must take the cotton out of your ears. Take the wax out of your ears. Take off the shades, the sunshades that keep you blinded. Keep up the breath now. Heart breath. He says you are not alone. You are not alone. Feel that now. Feel that you are not alone. Understand that. That's it. Feel that you are not alone. That you are precious. That you are totally precious. And that there may appear to be crises, but as you let go, give them over, we are the ones who will help you through. So he says, now, my sweet ones, he says, now is the time. Now is the time for you to let go and let God. He says, and you do that by saying, Baba Siri Chand, would you help me, please? Or Baba Siri Chand, get in here, please, right now. Guru Ram Das, your soul, and then give them the difficulty. Give them the hurt. Give them the pain. He says, for us, it's like you're giving us our morning Cheerios. We like it. We live for it. Why do you think we stay here and be available to you? This is our purpose. Do you understand? This is our purpose. Otherwise, we would fly off and just live totally as the infinite. Do you understand that we are here to guide you? This is our purpose. This is our total love, our union. Is by helping, giving, you might say, a helping hand. He calls us our less fortunate brethren. But it just means that we have not been around as long and that we are being helped by our older brothers and sisters, so to speak, the ones who truly love us. So he says, now, sweet ones, he says, think of something that is bugging you. He says, well, he says more than that. He says, feel it. He says, nothing's too big. Nothing's too small. He says, let it come up. If it demands tears, he says, let the tears flow. He says, let the tears flow. And he says, give up the whole conundrum, the whole tangle, the whole ball of wax. He says, give it up to us. Give it up to us. He says, let it go. And with your free will, let it be known to us that you would like us to take care of this for the best of you, the best of all situations, for the best of humanity, of the earth, and all creation. Keep up by letting go. Keep up the breath, please. He says, let that block behave because it's being freed. It is being untethered, untied. Let it go, and this brings about the conundrum of trust. He says trust is a very delicate issue, but it's very, very powerful. He says, since you have the habit of living in blocks and from blocks, he says you understand that they are not trustworthy. And it is the old habit of living from the blocks that makes that makes you question, trusting your letting go. Now, my dear ones, I'm asking you for the supreme leap of letting go. You've often heard, let go, let God. He says it's not just a simple little saying, it is the truth. If you want progress in your life, he says if you want your life to be one of progress, then you let go and let God. Keep up the breath. That's it. Let go and let God. Feel it now. Feel all the untethering happening. Feel all the heavy responsibility being given up. Opening and opening. That's it, opening and opening. He says, now, my sweet ones, in your bhakti, in your devotion, this is your devotion now, is the deepest humility to let go and let all the actions come from the infinite. Let go and let all the actions come from the infinite. Feel that preciousness. Open. And make a pact with the infinite that whatever comes up, you understand is for your greatest good. You just may be tickled that whatever comes up comes in ways that you never could have thought of. Remember the creativity? Ways that are not from places that you had ever experienced before, but rather the new solutions come from this place of lightness, of allowing the creativity. Feel your devotion, and please keep up with it. Allow your devotion to be indelible. Indelible. That is what you keep up with, the letting go. And then recognizing when it comes up, and when it does come up, make sure that you are in gratitude. Have the courage to let go at every moment, let go of the vision, and at the same time, receive the new vision, the reworked vision, the flow to become apparent. In other words, that is when people can come into your life, people who will help you, People who love being with you. People who will help you expand. If you try to be in the old way, nothing can happen but the old way. Have the courage. Have the courage to gently get on the raft down the river of flow and be taken care of. To hold the space. It doesn't mean that you are a victim and you are finally being given everything that you wanted in the old way. No. It means that you hold the space no matter what happens. You have the courage. When you are in that space, the courage becomes natural. It is your dedication to allowing the space of you to change to this place of creativity, absolute partnership with the divinity, with the flow that is most personal, most loving, most caring, and will carry you to your greatness. This is who you are. This is what you are. He says, oh, my children, please accept it. We are moving fast these days. We are moving fast. And if you stay in your old haunts and your old ways, it will be so painful that you cannot stand it. Your old ways will not serve you. They will not serve your purpose or your destiny or those beloved around you. The way to do that is to flow and to allow your creative flow coming from the infinite to be changed, rearranged day by day, minute by minute, second by second, and to delight in it, to love it, to be aware, to take the joy, accept it. Breathe and make that pact, please, with Baba Siri Chand, with your own soul, with Guru Ram Dass, with Divine Mother, with Jesus, and with all the higher beings who are present, to allow the flow to help us to join in the creativity. And they don't fight with each other. Isn't it amazing? They do not fight. They are on the side of the infinite. Keep up the breath. And be. And he says also, please put this Mideast affair, please put it in the hands of the infinite. Trust it. He says, please invite Muhammad in. Trust. And inhale. And exhale. And breathe. He says, okay, my sweet ones, now it is time. It is time to ask your questions. Present what you have experienced. He says, unleash the pact that you have made with the divinity. He says, please let us hear from you. And who is going first?
This is K-Head. I can go first.
Oh, good, dear. Please.
Okay. So the sutra for this year is there's a way through every block.
Mm-hmm.
And yesterday I realized that the way through every block is to relax. And what I asked for in the beginning of this call is to help me relax. So it was just so funny to go through it. And it was perfect.
This was it.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And every time I let go
mm-hmm.
of tension and desires and problems, I just started laughing because in my heart I kept seeing Baba Siri Chand laugh or dance. And then the more I just focused, I was like laughing so much and like laughing into relaxation. And one thing I realized is when you laugh, you know how sometimes you laugh and you can cry, and that definitely happened for me. Instead of crying and being upset, and you know how your nose closes and then you feel all heavy, when I laughed and let it cry, my nose just flowed. It's like letting go of the stuckness. So, yeah, it's really cool. And then in making that pact and letting laughter happen, my heart released, and it was like your will center, you know, your third chakra, like having faith and power gather there and kind of anchoring my heart and my body rather than focusing on my heart. Like, you know, like laughing like a bowl full of jelly. So focusing, or not focusing, just allowing it to happen. So that was my experience, and it was really fun. Thank you.
Oh, bless you, dear. That's wonderful. Can you keep it up?
Thank you. I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm ready. It's fun. Yeah.
Imagine living our life from the fun place.
Oh
my God.
Totally. Yeah.
Oh my God, it would be a different world, wouldn't it?
It would be.
God bless you, dear. Thank you so much for that. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. Who else can share? Did anybody have trouble with this? We want to hear that too. Ruthie, what do you think? What did you feel?
What I've been going through is having a hard time relaxing in the past couple of months. And I noticed about a month ago I just decided to let go. And when I did that, a lot of answers came to me what to do. And I just somewhere along the line, the past few weeks, I kind of lost it again, and I realized that I've been very tense the past couple of weeks. So I just need to be reminded, you know, to keep relaxing, and that when I do let go of worry and just when I let go of needing to know my healing process, like how it's going to happen, or being in control of it, if I let go of that, I've realized it just happens automatically.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah, everything I need to do, whether it's a meditation or a kriya, will come to me. It just comes to me what I need to do to actually just push forward.
Isn't that amazing?
It is amazing, yeah. When you're in that space. But my challenge is to stay in that space. Yeah, that's my challenge, definitely.
And why do you suppose, I'm not just talking about you, but all of us, but asking you through your own experience, why do we stay in the old space?
For me, I feel like it's clinging to my old self, to my old mental and emotional patterns. For me,
why do you suppose we do that?
Maybe it's some form of, I don't know, self-sabotage. I don't know. That's what comes to my mind when you ask me that. It's just, you know, I'm accustomed to being that way, you know, growing up that way, and just kind of breaking those patterns. It just takes a lot of repetition for me to keep going through it over and over again until I finally get it.
Right.
It just takes me a while, for me, I suppose.
Right. It's an old habit, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, actually, he says we're going from the Piscean habit, which is what you just described, to the Aquarian habit, which is what you're telling us about.
Okay, yes.
So this is a very big leap for all of us, but it comes in minuscule bites. Isn't that amazing? So we just have to keep our focus. Keep our focus. Yeah. He says, my dears, that's what your sadhana is for, to keep that focus.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Ruby. I love that. Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Or I should say, who is next?
This is Saranam.
Yes, Saranam.
Yes. I had an incredible experience, like when you were at the beginning. I could see. At first, I was going like, "What was bugging me?" You know, and then it was almost linear. I could see the problems lining up.
Little soldiers. Mm-hmm.
You know, and I could see how each one was almost like its own little package.
How interesting.
Yeah, and so you told us to pick one, and so I picked something that's current right now.
Mm-hmm.
And I could feel, I had this vision like the top of a tree in the sky, and it was almost like it was dissolving energetically, you know, dissipating.
Mm-hmm.
And I could actually feel that and feel the clarity. But then I started thinking onto the problem again, and I could see how when we release it, it is gone, but then we recreate it. And so it was almost like all the molecules and atoms were coming down to reform that whole situation again, that package.
That what? What was the last word?
Package. You know how each problem was a package.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can do that. We're very powerful, aren't we?
Yeah, and so it's like, it's not like it doesn't work when we let it go and then we think it comes back again. It comes back again because we begin to focus by using those same thoughts, and we recreate it again. And all those molecules rush to reform that whole situation again. I mean, I visually saw this. It was so interesting. And then,
excellent.
You know, the tightening and the of the body and everything, and the mind just wants to jump in there and go, no, I'm right, you know. and
yeah.
That was fascinating, so I thank you for that.
Oh, bless you, dear, and thank you so much for that insight, because that's exactly what can happen. So we need to be vigilant, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, and not blame our mind for redoing that, but go, oh, mind, we forgot. Let's go back the other way.
But because it's a beautiful thing to be able to surrender. You know, I've been doing that lately. Whenever the problem arises, just unclutch from it, surrender it. And I surrender it to a certain part of my body. You can surrender it to your heart space or wherever that is for you. But I don't allow myself to get involved in the story. The first thought that comes up about it, that's when I surrender it.
Excellent. And it's wonderful.
I have to do it 1,000,000 times, but you know.
What?
I said I have to sometimes do it 1,000,000 times, but every time it comes up, it's just like, oh, okay, give that, surrender it. You know?
That's right. You recognize now that that's not your truth. Yes. And it's just an old thought form. When he says haunt, going back in your old haunts, it is like being haunted, isn't it?
Yeah.
But you have the way out. You just surrender. Just surrender the old story. Those stories will kill you for sure. Well, that's wonderful. Thank you so much, Saranam.
Sure.
Yeah, so helpful. Okay, I think we have time for about one more. Who can share? Julie, would you like to share? Julie, are you here? Okay, Guru Simran, would you like to share? Okay, dear ones, it appears as though...
I can share. It's
Gurpreet. Who's this?
It's Gurpreet.
Oh, hi, Gurpreet. Yes,
hi,
please.
Siri Gian. So when you were talking about when Baba Siri Chand was saying, let go and call upon us, ask for our help. And I do that pretty much all the time. And I can share an incident that happened last week with me, where just a small thing, but like my car battery light out of nowhere started to come on, and then I was talking to my cousin, and so apparently it could be like the light was coming on, so my cousin it can be a transmission. So it could have cost me a lot of money. So he told me the only way I'm going to know, he's like, okay, go turn your car back on and, load it up with, turn the AC on and stuff like that. And if it dies instantly, it's your transmission. If not, then it can be a wire or so on. So I went back into my car, and before I turned it on, I just called upon Baba Siri Chand, and I'm like, I can afford a new transmission, so please help me and make sure the battery is fine. Like, I can't afford a brand new battery and so on. So I turned it on, and the light did come on, but when I turned the AC on and load the battery, put a lot of loading onto the battery, the light just went on. I ran the car for a good 30 minutes, and it kept running. The battery didn't die, and it's been running perfectly fine ever since.
And my cousin says, "Aren't I good?"
Yeah. And my cousin took my car yesterday and checked everything out, and everything's fine.
Oh my God! Isn't that wonderful?
But those are like little things. But sometimes when you have something big to deal with, like the other day, I was feeling a little bit down. But then I remember the same thing that you said on the call, to let go. And I kept telling myself yesterday too, I'm like, I don't want to be the same person I was before. And so like I let go. And even now you're saying, let it go. Even if you need to cry, cry. Sometimes I think we tell ourselves that no, we're not going to cry because we're strong people. But I think when we don't cry, we're actually holding on rather than letting go.
Right.
So
very good. Yeah, you heard Kahar. She left. She cried till she left. That was fun. Yeah. Or no, and she laughed till she cried. That was it. That was it. Well, okay, everybody, you ready to laugh? Okay, let's all take a few seconds. We're all going to laugh now. You ready? Laugh at your problems. Okay, inhale and exhale. And breathe. And do you feel how that loosens things up in your heart or in your body? He says, we should do that a lot. We should do that a lot. You get a flat tire, laugh. If you don't have enough money for your bills, start laughing. He says, then it will ease things out and things can happen. So thank you all. Thank you all for your comments. What a precious day. He says, and don't forget to rely on me. He says, just have a lot of fun. No blaming, just open up. Okay, so now, since we have Kahar, we have the treat of Kahar. She's going to lead us in Longtime Sun.
Okay. Inhale. May the long-time sun shine upon you, all love around you, and the pure light within you guide your way on. Guide your way on. Guide your way on.
Inhale. And just get into an and bow to your own laughing, dancing coziness. Don't forget. God bless you all, and talk to you next week.
Satnam.
Satnam.